Hello, everyone. Welcome to Celebrate Black Excellence. I am your digital host, Carlton T. Clay. My next guest, this is a treat to have right here on the Celebrate Black Excellence desk. I have the founder and the host of More Than the Masters podcast, Maine Bradley. How you doing today, sir?
How you doing, man? I'm doing good. How you?
How you doing?
I'm doing good. I can't complain, man.
Good.
Trying to get like you.
Appreciate you being here on Celebrate Black Excellence. Let's get started. How did you get into podcasting?
At the time, it was just something I picked up. Like I listened to a few podcasters at the time that were doing it. It wasn't a thing. Never heard of it before, but I liked it. Like there was genuine conversation. They didn't seem as like they were professional speakers. And they interviewed. I liked how they painted pictures through their interviews. The conversation they was having is like barbershop talks, sort of kind of, but like I was still learning from it. And I was like, I want to do this. I think I can do this. I want to talk to people and I want to have like genuine conversations about things that matter and kind of like learn at the same time.
Yeah. Now, you chose the name of your show is More Than the Masters. Why did you pick that title for the podcast?
It was really hard because, like, you know, me being from New York and then living down here for the time I lived down here, I wanted to kind of join the best of both worlds. You know, the city, me, but also the part of me that lived in the South for a while and have manners and things of that nature. And the only thing I could think of was my people back home. Every time I tell them that I live in Augusta, they think about rattlesnakes and dirt roads, and that wasn't a thing. It wasn't a thing no more.
Right.
So I said, well, what is Augusta known for? Of course, you got James Brown, you know, but I was like, the Masters, and I wanted to show that Augusta was more than just that, because a lot of people that I was catering to don't know anything about the Masters at all. So yeah, that's how it came about.
Talk to me about your first show, your very first podcast.
Ooh.
Talk to me about that.
My first one was my brother, and I think I recorded it 3 times.
Okay.
I recorded it in my grandmother's house. I recorded it in California at Cal University when he was at his trip. And then I recorded it again at home over the phone, and I went with the over the phone interview. I just wanted to be perfect, like, because I was listening to people who had all of this, like had a team, had the audio perfect, had these top tier microphones. I didn't have none of that stuff.
Right.
So I kept thinking I was doing bad. So I kept scrapping every interview I did until I finally just said, I'm putting this out. And from there I took off, you know.
Yeah, so what lessons have you learned through your journey of podcasting? Like, how have you changed from episode 1, we just discussed, and where you are now?
Just like, it's not about numbers. I'm more about impact over everything else. Like I care about me impacting somebody. So the episode might not get a lot of views to somebody else, but if during that time that person can call me 2 months, a year or so later and say, yo, that interview like changed how I thought about this. That interview changed how I moved going forward with this. That interview changed how I looked at the city because of this. That's what I like. I like impact over anything else. Like impact over popularity, impact over numbers, stats, statistic, money. Just I want to be impactful as possible.
Got you. We definitely feel that impact. We know about it. And I want to definitely give you your flowers first here. That's why it was important for me to have you. You smell it?
It smell good.
It was very important to have you here on Celebrate Black Excellence, because for people who do not know me, you do have worked together before. We had our podcast, Fire and Ice. And I just want to bring you here on this platform because I wanted to tell you how important you are to me in my career. So thank you.
I appreciate that.
For your contribution to what you do and your impact you made on my life. So I appreciate
Likewise.
Like
100 episodes is not nothing. Over 100 episodes we did.
Yeah.
And it was times we did 2 hours. We had contractual obligations to do 2 hours.
Right.
And nothing happened that week.
Right.
So we had to figure it out. We arguing on stuff we don't even want to argue about just to make conversation. It was. It definitely was like a boot camp to be doing this at a normal pace.
Right, exactly. Now, I'm giving you your flowers. For me, you were one of the first people, if not the first person that I know that actually was doing podcasts here in the area. How does it feel you're a leader. How does it feel to know that you were one of the first? Because people got podcasts now. Everybody got a podcast. Their mama got a podcast. Their grandma. Like, how does it feel to know that you were one of the first people to really start that here in the area? And I'm not talking about online radio, because I know people gonna argue like, I had an online radio show. No, I'm not talking about online radio. I'm talking about an actual podcast. How does that feel for you to be one of the first?
You know, I hear it all. I'm not gonna lie, I've heard that for years. I did this, I was doing that. You know, for me to actually title something podcast, not radio show, not this, not that, it was new. And it feels good because it was foreign. Like, the podcast had a term at a time. Like, it was just a audio recording. That was the definition.
Right.
Audio recording. So to be one of the first ones or the first one in the area doing it and seeing how it's taken off just for the world, It feels amazing. I'm not gonna lie. I wish I would have copyrighted how to start a podcast, because that's like the most like Google thing now, you know? So yeah, it's amazing to me. And I like that I did something, not to piggyback on somebody else, not because it's a fad, but because it's something I wanted to do. So that's why I'm so true to it, because I didn't do it because it was gonna be a thing that was like popping or, you know, get you lit or whatever the case may be. No, it was just something I really wanted to do, and you see it in my work.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, how do you choose your guests for your podcast?
Ooh, you gotta matter. You gotta matter. Like, I'm always about pushing the city forward. Things that I feel as though people don't know about the city that I want people to get put on. I do take gambles every now and then, and you may not be where you want to be yet at in what you're doing, but you're so pure to what you're doing. And to me, it's pure to the city and what the city means to me and what I want to convey. And, you know, it's all illustration. I look at myself as an artist. So you might say podcaster, you might say host. I always say artist. Like, I'm painting pictures with questions and people's responses, whether it's the follow-up question. You've been with me for. It's certain things you're gonna give me an answer one time, and I'm gonna follow up a certain way. I'm painting a picture of what I want the viewers to see of this and how they're gonna view the city. In addition to your story, I want your story to tell another story. I want your story to tell me, you know, Augusta in 1970, what was going on? You know, how was the Aquinas back then? How was downtown back then with the black businesses? All that stuff matters. So you gotta matter, but I have to see a vision when I'm talking to you.
Got you. Now, can you name any, like, your most memorable guest that you've ever interviewed?
Man, this guy named Carlton Clay, he was amazing, man. You know, but seriously, that was you. I always say that you were my first. When I say official guest, I mean you had motion. I'm not saying had, you don't have no more, but you had motion at the time, and you was like doing so much. I remember asking your sister first, "Can I interview you?" I was like, "You think he'll do it?" Because I don't know nobody, you know what I'm saying? And look, it happened since then, right? So you got people like you who are doing so many things in the city that I can go down and list of things that you're doing. Karen Gordon, like, she's like a conduit to everything in the city, and just having that relationship, podcast aside, is amazing. So doing her, I did Janice Jackson a little while ago, ran the city for a little while, Ben Hassan. I like to do people that I don't know and I'm not in a demographic. We would never know each other, we wouldn't have no conversations, but normally when I talk to them, we stay in contact forever after that. So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
definitely.
That's amazing. Now, who inspires you?
Oh my God, my family, my kids, my brother. You know, I watch them do great things, and my sister. This family, really. Like, family, they really inspire me, because that's what I do it for. You know, I do it for my daughters, do it for my family, my mother, you know, my grandmother. So yeah, I'm a real family-oriented person, and before anything, I want to make sure that I made them proud. So, you know, impact, you know, numbers, anybody saying you the first, that's cool, no, but like when I see my family like what I'm doing, or they bigging me up what I'm doing, that mean a lot to me. So I'm inspired by just the thought of making them proud.
Yeah. Who is Maine listening to? Like, what are some of your favorite podcasts to listen to?
Oh God, More Than Masters, Sit Down with Slim. I like Slim. He's from here. All the local podcasts. You got Conversations with Mo. You got Good Talk with Shay Good. You got Brother Trav. Anybody, I like local podcasts because I like to feel like I can relate to who's speaking. You know, I want to know that story. I want to meet those people that's talking. I also like Joe Budden podcast, of course. But as far as like on a bigger level, I don't listen to no big level podcast. Honestly, I don't. Besides Joe Budden, that's really much it. Like, everything is local for me.
I got you. What words of advice can you give someone who wants to get into podcasting, or want into the art, as you would say, of podcasting?
Be true. Be true to what you want to do. Be willing to work. Be okay with failing. Be okay with an episode not doing what you wanted to do. Because sometimes it happens, like the episode you pick that you think is going to be, I got one. It don't be that one. It may feel like that in the moment, but it's not that one. It don't translate to ads or sponsorships, or you moving ahead, or you feeling like people know me more now. That's the advice I would give. I also say sometimes you have superheroes. A lot of times, you people that you look up to. Like, I want to interview this person. That may not be the person you want to interview sometimes, because that can change your view of a person. And I haven't seen it a lot, but I've been there where it's like, oh, okay, this is how this person acts. This is not what I expected, you know. So I'd rather have not interviewed that person. So it's no different than any other art form, whether it's rapping, poet, or comedy. You're gonna have trials and errors. You're gonna have times where you feel like you're not doing enough. You're gonna have times where you feel like you're not moving in the right direction. You're moving backwards, maybe. Don't compare yourself to no other person, and just do what's best for you. So for me, when I put an episode out, I don't look at numbers no more. I don't care about shares no more. I put it out and go to the next thing, because I'm growing.
Yeah.
So that's behind me now. I'm on to the next one. How can I get better next time?
Hey,
I go from there.
that's some good words of advice for sure.
Every now and then I sprinkle a little. Every now and then I got a little sprinkle. You know.
If people want to listen to if people want to listen to More Than the Masters podcast, or they want to follow you in your journey, how can they do so?
You want to watch More Than the Masters on YouTube, so you type in More Than the Masters on YouTube, is right there.
Yeah.
Facebook, More Than the Masters, right there. SoundCloud, Apple Music, I'm on all the platforms. Just type in More Than the Masters, and you'll see me pop up in a cartoon looking just like I look now because I don't age.
You're a vampire.
I am a vampire.
I can't. Man, thank you for being here.
Nah, thank you, man. Thank you for having me.
No problem. We definitely celebrate you. This is Celebrate Black Excellence, so we definitely want to celebrate you. So appreciate
you, man. I appreciate you.
No problem. All right, everyone. I am Carlton T. Clay, and this is Celebrate Black Excellence, where we celebrate Black excellence every day. Have a good one.